Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
Welcome back to another episode of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Yes, your eyes don't deceive you. Back with another video presentation. The NFL is back. Hall of Fame game is here. It's been a hot minute since we've seen football. I still can't believe uh, we went this long without football. Um, I am excited for this upcoming season. There's a couple things that I am going to say in another video regarding Deshaun Watson, my thoughts about that. I've recorded that episode probably about a good 6 times. And I want to make sure the things that I say are clear, precise, and they come from a place of calmness, uh, not of ignorance, not of make sure that my points are coming across in that video with Deshaun Watson. So be tuned in for that. But the NFL is back. We start off with the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Las Vegas. I can't remember what I say Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders. Couple things. The Hall of Fame game is always the best because we got obviously the Hall of Fame enshrinement the weekend before. Again, congratulations to those that are going into the Hall of Fame this year. Tony Baselli, who should have already been in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Mr. Cliff Branch, wide receiver, son and father of Deion Branch. Dick Vermeil, Coach Dick Vermeil. I'm glad he's going in there as in the Hall of Fame. Leroy Butler, safety, Green Bay Packers. Sam Mills, linebacker. Richard Seymour, Oakland Raider and New England Patriot. And Bryant Young, 49er. But I remember him playing for the 49ers. And then Art McNally, who was a former on-the-field official and supervisor for officials as a contributor. I'm glad to see those guys go in the Hall of Fame. For those that did not get in the Hall of Fame this year, I proclaim that next year, without a shadow of a doubt, that you'll be in the Hall of Fame as well. There were some guys I would have liked to have seen it. Guys like, for example, Sterling Sharp, Mark Clayton, Clay Matthews Jr. I like to see him get in there. I know Joe Thomas and James Harrison are, without a shadow of a doubt, first ballot Hall of Famers. Dwight Freeney should be in there. Cam Chancellor. Darrell Revis, without a shadow of a doubt, should be considered in the Hall of Fame for next year. But, that's one of my favorite parts about looking forward to the Hall of Fame is just getting to see these guys play the game before some legends, and then you got the Hall of Fame speeches. I still think Ray Lewis is tops the cake because he definitely has a little sermon in his Hall of Fame speech, but that's besides the point. This game, focus on these two teams. So the Las Vegas Raiders last year, we know that they're looking to build on the success they had last year. I think a lot of it this year when you look at the acquisition of Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones. Josh McDaniels now the new head coach after having a successful stint in New England. The Raiders, so far, they've dealt with some injuries going into training camp. Look at the list before. It's interesting. They'll probably dress. I don't know who's going to be playing, but I'm looking to see guys like Dylan Parham, Matthew Butler, and Neil Farrell Jr. I don't really have them in my 53-man roster, them starting. But I will really get to see how they will contribute to the Raiders. Then you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. You bring on a guy like Devin Lloyd, who I think was a steal for Jacksonville. The number 1 overall pick out of Georgia, Travion Walker. And then Travis Etienne, who missed the whole season last year. I think this is going to be a good year for him. And also, new head coach for the Jaguars, Doug Peterson. Now, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne are not going to play in this game for some unknown reason, but okay. So that kind of puts a damper on things, what we want to see. I would like to have seen that. So the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars who's starting in this game is Jake Luton. And then also, too, you've got CJ Beathard and Kyle Slaughter. They'll be the 3 quarterbacks that will look to get their shine as who could be the number 2 and number 3 guy behind Mr. Trevor Lawrence. And then Raquel Armistead and Snoop Connor and James Robinson, who's also not going to be playing because he's still returning from a torn Achilles. Really, preseason is all about those who are buried in the depth chart, the reserves. This is really the opportunity to shine. So, I mean, you're really looking at, honestly, 2 teams with different faces. Like I said, Devontae Adams traded from Green Bay to Chandler Jones being traded from Arizona. Brandon Sheriff, who was a longest tenure guard in Washington. And then you got Christian Kirk, who really, really changed the face of how you should pay a wide receiver. So, a lot of new faces. If we don't get to see them out there, it's still going to be an interesting, good games. I think this is going to be a good year for both teams. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will surprise many this year. And then I was going to say make the playoffs, but they'll have a good win improvement. Also, they'll win 8 games, in my opinion. So, I mean, you're looking at 2 squads with a lot to prove. I think the Las Vegas Raiders are a team that's what's going on, boys? What's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. I think the Raiders are going to surprise many. I have them going to the playoffs. Derek Carr, I'm going to say here right now, Derek Carr will finish in the top 10 this year, and he'll be a top 5 candidate for MVP.
Guaranteed.
I think that this is his year to prove a lot from all the criticism he has gotten. The Raiders, I think, really were this close last year, putting it all together. It was a great game against the Chargers to get into the playoffs. But I think this year that division is going to be a bloodbath. Jacksonville, I'm not really expecting much from them this year. I'm not really a fan of Doug Peterson. I think he's a good coach, but as a leader, when I mean leader, the way he kind of handled the Carson Wentz situation, I expect him to just build the team and take it from there. You will see improvements, but I think Doug Peterson is just he kind of reminds me of kind of has like a Vic Fangio vibe to me. So, but I think you'll see something different under him a little bit. But I mean, other than that, Josh McDaniel, I think he's going to have a good year. I have him as a candidate for Coach of the Year. We'll see. So it's a new journey for both teams. Final score of the Hall of Fame game. 23-20 Las Vegas Raiders.
Guaranteed.
I think that's going to be your score. Because again, preseason, it's really just honestly and truthfully, it's just, again, guys that are buried in the depth chart. Guys just looking to make a name for themselves and just look at the rookies and even seeing some of the stars out there. But you're not going to see, like, again, Trevor Lawrence out there. You probably will see Brandon Sheriff for a possession or different things like that. So, I mean, other than that, there's nothing else to expect. But I think Las Vegas has definitely got something to prove after losing to Cincinnati in the first round of the playoffs. And then on the Jaguars, let's see if they'll no longer be the laughing stock. They actually are 3-0, Las Vegas, in the Hall of Fame games. Since 2006, the last time they won that one. So, yeah, Jacksonville, they spent a lot of money in getting guys like Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, if I remember correctly, even though he – interesting. Yeah, so both teams looking to really do some things, but I'm going with the Raiders. Y'all let me know your thoughts on who's going to win the game tonight. Should be a good game. And I'll recap the game tomorrow afterwards. But until then, that's going to conclude this episode. I will catch you guys on the flip side.
Because, you know, it is what it is. It's so great to be great.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.